Hey folks, Tom Norfleet with www.citizenshipquickly.com. Wanted to talk to you today on a way to get a lot of things for free or almost free. You might think this is some sort of sham. I've been doing it for years. Let me give you an example of how it works. When I got out of college in 1975, I got a job at a tennis club teaching tennis. And at a tennis club, it's kind of unique because you run in the wealthiest people in town. You got doctors, you got lawyers, you got dentists, you got people who are in the real estate business, people have a lot of rentals and different, might be a building contractor or whatever. What I did was I took everybody at my country club and I started looking at their businesses and I said, I think I know how I can definitely get their business and I can live for free, okay? And then I'll take all that money I'm saving that I wouldn't be spending for a rental unit, a dentist, a doctor, things like this, or food and things like this, going out to a restaurant. And I'm going to take that money and save it, and I'll put it away. So what I did was I found out people that one guy owned a restaurant, another guy was a dentist, another guy was a chiropractor. I've got a bad back. And another one had rental units. Well, what happened was the guy that had a rental unit, I worked out a deal with him. He had some rental units that came up and they were empty. And instead of letting them sit there empty before he got somebody in there, I said, look, let me teach your kids tennis. And what I'll do is we'll keep a tab on the lessons I give them. And I'll give them lessons each month equal to what you're charging me in rent. And he said, oh, that sounds pretty good. And we just kept a tab. So I just lived free. I paid nothing for that. Okay. And so all my other lessons that people were paying me for, I didn't have to use that to pay for rent. So I just took that and invested it. Another thing I did was I always have been good about going to a dentist. I go to a dentist every 6 months. And I had a dentist that had children too, and also he played tennis also. And so what I did was I worked it out. I said, look, why don't I do this? I wasn't dealing with this guy at that time. You're really better off doing it with someone that you're already not dealing with. This way, he knows that he's going to get your business, but only if you barter with him. That it really works better that way. And I had a guy that was a dentist, and we worked it out where I could go every 6 months to get my teeth clean. And I paid him nothing. I gave his family tennis lessons, and we just bartered. We kept a tab on what that was, and then if I had fill-ins or I had things that needed to get done, I just give him more tennis lessons, and it paid for everything. And I just filled it in the time that I had that I wasn't teaching anyway. Where it worked real good was in a restaurant. I had a real nice restaurant, and this guy had I think he was about 5 kids, and I taught them all tennis lessons. And the food was so good. Back then I was single, and I used to go out there and just wine and dine, man, and I didn't have to worry about the bills at all. I just taught tennis lessons to pay for it all. And so my food bill was for the restaurant was totally free. I used to go out there all the time. So, I took all that money and just saved it. And you can do it for rentals. You can do it for a dentist. I also had a chiropractor. I worked out for years doing that with a chiropractor, doing a barter type arrangement there. Just kept a tab on it. If I rung up, let's say, $700 in tennis lessons, then I'd have $700 worth in chiropractor work. And you just keep a tab on it. You mark it off on each person's tab, and works great. Now, some businesses you can do this with, and some of them you can't. It depends on if you're involved in some sort of regulatory where you can't pay out commissions, it won't work. If you're, a tennis pro, a doctor, a lawyer, certain professions, a plumber, just a guy who's doing work, on different types of things that might be mechanic. These are great barter type positions that you can barter in. And everybody uses these people. Why not work out a barter agreement? I did this for years, man. I just took the money and saved it, invested it. It's the best way to do this. It'll save you a fortune over a period of years. And bartering is a great way to get started too, trying to get clients. If you want to get clients, you can do this with. I'll tell you another way. This is dynamite. I mean, I'm going to probably get some cheapy comments on this. I'm going to tell you a way you can get food. This is no joke. Food for either free or close to free. Okay? Now, I've done this for years, and I just thoroughly enjoy it. It's really great. Go to any food store and talk to the owner or the manager, and you'll find out that probably around 5 to 10% of their food is thrown out. I mean, it's literally thrown out. If you look in these baskets and you see some of the food they're throwing out, it could be a papaya that has one little blemish on it. And papayas are actually better when they've got a blemish on it, because that means they're fully ripe. Okay? It's funny, I view a papaya with a blemish on it, fully ripe, a lot better than I do a green one. A green one, you can't eat it. One that's fully ripe is dynamite. And so what I'll do is I'll go in and tell the manager of a store, and I'll get gourmet food. Now, I don't do this with meat. Don't get me wrong. I'm tight, but I don't do this with things that I'm going to get harmed with. But what you'll find out is meat, any type of meat and stuff you don't want to do this with. But things like yogurt, ice cream, things like this usually have expiration dates. All right. After that expiration date, stores legally in most places can't sell it. In other words, legally they can't really sell you the item at all. And one day before, usually if you catch something that expires, like if you get it the day before it expires, what you'll find out is they'll give it to you either 50% off, or they'll give it to you for free. I get tons of things that are free. Now, it takes a little bit of time. You just got to go in there and look at the expiration date on there. And what you'll find out is a lot of these stores don't put them on sale. And you'll buy it anyway and pay the full price because the store hasn't marked it down. They just don't get around to marking it down, so you'll buy things that are expired and you won't even know it. A lot of these things, too, will go weeks out before they go bad. And you can smell them if they're bad. I mean, fruit, you can look at it and tell if it's bad. And sometimes fruit, you can cut it out, but it's fully ripe on the other areas. Mangoes and papayas, they have blemishes, or, they're delicious. Just cut them out and you got the full ripe fruit. And you'll see these stores just throw them out. I go in there and what I do is I say, look, before you throw something out, here's my phone number. Give me a call. Okay? And what I'll find out, these guys will come in and they'll charge me maybe 5% off the regular full price. And it's a fully ripened fruit. I'm getting it almost free. And then they'll just take other stuff and throw it in there for free too. I've walked away sometimes with $300, $400, $500 worth of stuff for free. No joke, for free. I can't believe people don't do this. This is like going to Walmart and getting Walmart's prices at 80 to 95% off. And then you don't do this, like I said, with food that can harm you. You do it with food that's got weeks and weeks left. What you'll find out is when a date expires on something, I've never had it expire, where it goes bad the next day. It takes weeks out. But let me tell you how you do it. This is how you do it. You take stuff like yogurt, this really expensive yogurt, and what you do is, I don't eat yogurt anyway that's refrigerated. I freeze all my yogurt. So if I'm taking it out that day, which is maybe the day before the expiration date, I'll immediately freeze it. Okay, so it's not going to age anymore. Okay, and then the day I'm going to eat it, I take it just that one item out and eat it. I've never ever had a bad piece of food that's gone bad that I bought like this, ever, not one. Okay, but it's amazing how much food that's thrown away that will go weeks out, and people just don't. They don't participate in doing this. And you might say, well, Tom, I'm tight, but I'm not that tight. Well, that's fine. You don't have to do it. I like to get things close to zero, okay? I like to travel close to zero. I like to buy close to zero. And I like to take the difference and invest it. That's just the way I like to do things. And this is a good system if you really want to cut back on your costs, especially if you're starting off and you're really trying to cut back. You're trying to save in different areas for the kids to go to college. You're trying to save in a lot of different ways. You can get your food bill down to nothing. I always try to get all my bills and get them close to zero, okay? And I probably should start a website called close-to-zero.com. But you can do this, and the key is you establish a good relationship with the store. The store loves you because they're throwing this stuff out. Here you are going in there and picking it up. Now, sometimes they won't sell it to you because depending on what country you're in, because once it hits the expiration date, they won't give it to you. The key is every country is different. You have to look at the country you're in and the laws that you have there. But like I said, anything that's dealing with meat, don't do it, okay? When I say meat, I'm talking about chicken, pork, seafood, none of this crap. I only do this, things like fruits and vegetables, you can look at them and tell if they're bad. I mean, it's meat, you cannot. You can take meat and take it out, and you won't know it, and you can cook it, and if it's bad, man, you're going to get sick as hell. Don't do it with meat. And even with yogurt, never got sick, never had a problem with the yogurt because I get it the day before the expiration date, and then I freeze it. That's the key. The day before, and you take it and freeze it. If you do that, you won't have problems. And then when you use it, only take it out and use it the day that you pull it out. I eat mine actually frozen. I eat frozen yogurt, so I make sure it hasn't even defrosted. But you can do this with a lot of different types of foods, fruits, yogurt, you name it. But like I said, don't do it with pork, chicken, beef, seafood, anything like that. You don't mess with that. I don't eat a lot of meat anyway. I'm almost a strict vegetarian. But anyway, this will help you save a bunch of money using the bartering system, the free system, or close to free system on food. Drop me a comment, and if you got a question on this. Also, if you got interest in getting new videos, just hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, and you'll get new videos as they come out. Look forward to talking to you later. Take care. Bye.